Hello MGTOWs, hello men, hello MRAs. I'm just going to jab around a little bit today. I've been trying to work on some scripted stuff, and for some reason my brain isn't working right. Nothing seems to be coming out right, and I'm rather frustrated lately. I've been looking around. I said I went on vacation, and I did, and I've been looking around lately, and looking at there's been a few couples that I've had a good look at lately, and I usually don't do this, and for good reason. And then I look around the manosphere, and then I look around regular world here, and the real world which I have to live in, and things are just, if not the same, but worse. I look around the complex I live in, and the guys are going off to work in the morning, just oblivious to what's going on around them. It's the daily routine. The females are sitting at home. I've been watching some children being raised, and I'm looking at the way the mothers treat these children, and there's a lot of hitting, there's a lot of yelling, there's not a lot of nurturing, there's not a lot of that maternal instincts that I'm told about. Now this brings me to the question, all my life I've been told about this maternal instinct, this bigger issue with women, this ability to do something that a male can't, and that's nurture children. But I think about my life, and I think about my mother, I think about my sisters. I have two of them, and I've watched them raise children. And I think about my ex-wife, and I've watched her raise children. And I've been studying these three couples raising children lately, and I don't see it. I don't see it. I think it's a lie. I think most women do not have zero. I mean, they have zero maternal instincts nowadays. I've witnessed this with my mother. She wasn't, when I see a baby crying in a crib, most of the time I see a mother sitting there reading a magazine and just blotting out and just not listening to what's happening around her. And I seen the males at work while the mothers pretty much sit there and torture these children all day. And I know that's how it was for me when I was younger. But it's become rather frustrating lately. In these are just parts of the frustration with MGTOW and the MRA, and nothing seems to be getting changed. I look out at the men driving off to work every morning. I go out and doing it myself, and I look out at that and I see just a bunch of sheep driving off to work, no consciousness. You ever sit and try to talk to a male about the MRA, a blue pill male? We'll just call them blue pills. They're just regular guys out there. They're so impervious to any of that reaching their brain. It's not going to reach their brain. You can talk at them, but it seems like it bounces right off their head. Now, this is the part that's frustrating. I don't think there's a male in America right now that hasn't seen or heard of, or at one point looked at literature online, or talked to an MRA or a MGTOW or a men's right advocate, or someone from the MRM. But it just bounces right off, and they pretend like they don't hear it. At this point, what I'm thinking is, the next complaint I hear about, my wife left and took off with all my money and all blah, 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 blah. So the problem is, what do we do? If you can't get these guys on board, and you can't get blue pill men. I hate to use that, and Stardust is right. I just hate to use that anymore. We have to figure out just they're just normal guys out there that are so wrapped up in their lives. They're making it easy for hypergamous women to make them victims. And then after this, they sit there with a stupid look on their face, like, I wasn't told about this. I didn't know about this. I didn't know she would do this. Yes, you did. Yes, they did. They were told. They knew it. They knew it would happen. And it's a frustrating part of being a MRA, being a MRM, being a Mgtow, is you can tell them a million times and they can see it coming, and they're praying that it doesn't happen, even though we know the statistics, and we'll believe Terrence Popp's statistics of 92%, and it's going to happen, and the government relies on it, and we're running a multi-billion, trillion, almost probably $1 trillion business, the divorce industry, on it. And it makes men into slaves. It makes men liable for debt that they don't owe, which is debtor's prison, and then they put men in prison for this. I don't know how many men actually go to prison for that, and I will do a study on that because I think it's more far out blown up than reality. It's just one of those fear tactics that the government says, oh, we're going to put you in prison for that, and they may and they may not. I doubt it. Filling the prisons with men for debt would be like making $1 million, 2 million, 3 million psychopaths and letting them all go on a planet and on this continent. It would be traumatic for this continent. So I can't hardly believe they would do that. But hey, what do I know? But it's become rather frustrating. I'm having a hard time just going through this right now, going through the Mgtow thing on YouTube, talking to men out here in real life. It's become frustrating for me, and it's hard to explain to them, and I have to come up, and I sit back and I says, I have to come up with a new sales on this. What's the new sale on Mgtow? What's the new sale on the MRA? Because it seems to me that the old sale is not working anymore. The old pitch, we had our old pitch, and it's not working. And basically, Mgtow's and MRA doesn't have, we don't have money. We're not getting money from, we're not getting donations like the feminists are. The feminists get donations from the government. They get donations from the rich. They're running programs. They're doing all sorts of things with those donations. Men are never going to get these donations, even though you got the Donald Sterling billionaires getting just trounced on by feminism, and you got probably a good 100 billionaires out there getting trounced on by feminism, which will make hundreds of billionaire females, $1 billion for pussy. That's a lot to spend, but that will happen, and then these same billionaires, they will not donate to the MRM or the MRA. They will not provide any financing so they can protect themselves, so we can get laws to protect them. They won't do it. They see the system as fit. I don't know. They see the system as corrupt. They see the system's corruptness, but then they soon forget. It's like a punch in the face, and then the next 2 weeks later you go, well, that didn't hurt that much. Yeah, it did hurt that much. Wait till the next punch in the face. But it's frustrating out here, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what the next sales pitch is, and we keep going on and on and on and on, with these same MRA pitches, but they don't seem to be working. We've been doing this now for, 60 years, men? And we're losing ground. And losing ground is frustrating. And lately, with this president, this pansy president we have, we are losing a lot of ground. You've seen some of Michelle Obama's latest statements about echoing her husband's sentiments about women being smarter, which I'm pretty sure is just is laughable. And there's more of them, so somehow they're going to take over the world physically. That's laughable. That's laughable. We know the only gender that could take over a country or take a country back from tyranny and corruption is the male gender. We know that. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be said out loud, because it should just be accepted as the truth. If anything ever started happening, it would be the male gender that would do it. And that's pretty much the reason why they have the laws to keep us enslaved to the system, because they know they don't want us grouping together. But that's a different subject. I just wanted to talk about the frustration today of it all, and see if anybody had any good ideas about how to curb the frustration when you get to a point. In the MRA, when you feel nothing is happening, you look around your real life and you've talked to hundreds of men, and they're all still making the same mistakes, and somehow saying, well, I just didn't know that. And yes, they did. They were all talked to, and they were all they all were explained what was going to happen. And in the last maybe 10 years that I've been in the MRA, I've watched literally hundreds of divorces, and talked to each one of the men, and I get the same answer every time. I didn't think she would do that. I didn't think she'd do that. Well, we told you she was going to do that. We told you the statistics. And then it was, I didn't think she was going to do that. And I've just seen it again recently. I didn't think she was going to do that. I swore she was that in the Walt one. No, men have to wisen up, and we've talked about the reasons for it, the male mother need, or the umbilical reach, or whatever the fuck that is. We talked about the chemicals that happen between men and women. We've talked about the bacterias that infect men. We talked about the parasites. We've talked about all that, but they're still not listening. And sometimes I think the critics that say we're fighting billions and billions of years of biology are right. But then I look at myself, and I look at some other MRAs and Mgtows, and I realize that that's not true, because we have dismissed that biology in our own behaviors. So to say that's true, we could say some people are infected by biology in that way, but I can say not all. So that was my thoughts for today, and I'm just really, really frustrated with this thing lately, and I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what the next pitch is going to be. So I don't know. I feel like we're doing these rotating messages, like you hear these safety alerts, and the safety alert is, if you've come to an awakening, man, and you feel that society is unfair and treat men unfair, and if you see most women are out of control, the MRA is here for you. And that's over and over and over and over and over. I feel like I should just make that in a message and do it over and over and over and over and just broadcast it, because they're not hearing, they're not listening, and they're not helping themselves. And that's the frustrating part. Men are not helping themselves, which brings me to the question of who should we target? Should we target these women that aren't going to stop, or should we just strictly start targeting men. And we can go to the sports sites, we can go to any sites and just drop these little red pill bombs there. That's the way I think we're going to have to do it. Just get off of YouTube, maybe. Well, not generally off of YouTube, but we can make a home here, and we can make a home anywhere we want. But we have to get out to, sporting venues. We have to get out to sports chat pages, and that's where the men are. Archery chat pages, soccer chat pages, baseball chat pages, drinking chat pages, pages like that. And I think that's where we'll find the men that haven't heard us yet, or pretend like they haven't heard us. I don't know what it is, but I'm reconsidering this thing, and I'm going to do a lot of reconsidering in the next few weeks on how I say we, because I have this channel, and I'm sorry if I include you in that and you don't want to be included, but I'm really, really frustrated with this lately. We're not getting the message out, and I have to question why. And that's all I wanted to talk about today, man. Thanks a lot for listening. Oh, by the way, man, my misogynist therapy is coming along really good. I've been taking up clay modeling, and I think it's coming along just great. So here's a few pictures of my improvements. Thanks, Mgtow.